Hey everyone, back again. This time I'm going to show you how to set up sessions and cookies. Or sessions and cookies to start off here. Sessions are all server side, so stored session of a person accessing the server. That means when they visit your website and such. Cookie, on the other hand, is the same thing, but the concept is that the cookie is stored in the browser. So if I visit with IE, my cookie is stored in the browser of IE. If I visit with Chrome, it's stored in Chrome. It's not stored on the server, and it's not using any of the memory on the server. The server just fetches it from the actual browser. Now, the thing is between the two is session is stored on the server, so it's better, it's more secure, or it's secure in the sense of nobody can really tamper with it unless they get into your server. While on the other hand, cookies, since they're stored in your browser, you can actually modify those. And that's how people try to break around websites to try to get in. Um, the thing that cookies are usually used for is remember me. That's when you click that box, it's because they store it in your browser and have it don't expire for like years on end sometimes, depending on how they have it set up. The only time you might have to relog back in is if that cookie gets corrupted in some sort, like a false shutdown, or you clear your cache, which most of the time the cookie's checked, and once you clear it, it's gone, so you have to go and re-get it. So to start it off is I'm going to show you how to do sessions, and then I'm going to show you how the cookie works for you. To first start off, we're going to start off with basics 13 in this case for me. Name the file however you want. This is the only file that we're going to be using, so you don't have to worry about extra directories like the last tutorial. Start off, when you do a session, you have to do start session. So we're going to go down here, start session. And as you can tell, I wrote it backwards. It's actually session start. This initializes sessions to be allowed on the server. Initializes sessions for server/web page. Okay, and I can't spell. Okay, so now we just initialize session. If I didn't initialize session, I couldn't set any sessions. We're going to go here and we're going to set up a echo actually of what we currently have. So we're going to go PRE like normal. And the only reason why I do this is I want to make sure you guys see what the session's storing, how you pull it, and all that. And when I do a PRE and I set the session start, it allows me to, how can I say it? Allows me to show you of what the details are when they're added and when they're not added and how they disappear and such and such. So we're going to go here and we're going to go session details down. We're going to go question mark. And like normal, we're going to do print R. Now this one requires using the session right here. And the session, like all the rest, are an array, or is an array in this case. So if I go refresh, go to basics 13, right now I have nothing in my session. Now, the thing is when you do sessions, and let me turn on error reporting here before I continue that, because I'd like to show you there's a thing that will happen if you try to set a session after you already output it to the page. And that comes into an issue of a lot of the random programming. You can hide it, but it's still an error, and you shouldn't be doing that. One of them is if I set a session. So like we've been setting arrays, we're going to set a session. So you want it to just go blank like that, though. I don't recommend ever doing that. When you set a session, try to make it useful, like user ID. Okay. Well, he's logged into the system, and his ID is 19. Boop. That's setting a session. That's how easy it is to set a session. So if I do that right there and I click refresh here, boom, I get nothing. But if I refresh again, I get it. Now the thing is right now I have buffering on server. If you don't have buffering, if your page is already outputting HTML or everything else that's not PHP, you will get thrown an error. That error is more likely to be seen whenever you're doing cookies. Just a heads up on that. Now with the session, I initialized a session and I set the session here. So if I delete this line real quick, you don't have to delete it, but I want to show you if I delete that. Refresh. Boom, the session's still there. That's because it's still stored on the server until I delete that session or it times out. Depending on your server, I can't even talk. Depending on your server, your session can time out from 15 minutes to 24 hours or even longer, just depending on how it is. Depending on how you have your site set up, you might want to change that to be a lower number or sometimes a little bit higher number. Lower number means they might have to log in multiple times, and that's when the cookies come into play. But you don't want your server storing everything for 24 hours. Man, if you had 2,000 people view your website, Okay, well, that's 2,000 sessions right there just stored of people logged in to your server, and it's still storing it until it expires. So just a little bit of a heads up on that. So we're going to go right there. We have our session. Now, how does a server know that we still have the session? Actually, the session is stored in the browser, too. So when it's stored on the server, but the session ID is actually stored in the browser. I'm going to show you how to display that. So we're going to go browser input. So we're going to go right here. We're going to go print. Before I continue on sessions, I'd like you to see this, and I'm going to use request in this. If I go request, let's refresh. So my browser input is inputting PHP session ID. That's that number. That's how the server is responding to that session ID. If it wasn't that ID and it didn't correspond correctly, the session would basically be invalid and you would not see anything. That's how your session kind of works out in this base. So now you know how to see a session, now see a request. Now I want to set up more values, and I can. I can actually set up multi-arrays in this scenario. So we're going to actually go up here. We're going to go if is set. We're going to go session. And as you can tell, I didn't bring back session user ID because I want to actually use that without having to redefine it every time. And redefining it can be a little bit resource intensive, but you don't really have to worry about it for this. This is really simple and not really much is being done. So we're going to make sure user ID is set. Now from there, depending, you can sometimes accidentally misinput stuff. So just for safety, I always do this. We just make sure it's numeric. Since I know this is supposed to be numeric, it's supposed to be a user ID if it's set. So we're going to go here, and instead of just retyping that all out, we're going to go session. And I did not close that off. There we go. So from there, now I want to set up some more session details. So I can always override user ID if I need to. I can set up that session, change it however I want. But in this case, I want to just kind of show you that you can make multiple sessions here. I'm going to go session. So we have our user ID. Maybe we want to store our name. So we're going to go name. I'm not just going to do a basic name. We're going to go session name, and I want first. This is his first name. And I'm just going to go Garrett. And then we're going to do the same thing, but this time I want last name. And then we'll go full name. So doot. As I shift this over badly. Okay, so we have our last and we have our full right here. Now they're not set to any values yet, so we need to set them to a value while we can. So last, we're gonna go B, and then we're just on, because I'm gonna act like I'm one of those people who don't say my full name. So we're gonna go Garrett and we're gonna go B. So now if I refresh my page, they instantly popped up this time. As you can tell, it shows me my session of name. And like I said, it's a multi-array. So it showed me my session of name, and then from below I have first, last, and full. Now, you call it just the same way as I called everything else in a post and a get. Just call it. I set up the same way. Now, what happens if I want to unset my session? Okay. Well, there's multiple ways I can do this, but there's, say if I just want to unset a value. So we're going to go right here. And we're going to go if. I'm just going to set false here. The reason why I'm setting false here is it doesn't restate these, because I want to show you that you can reset up name. And actually, we'll just, instead of setting this false, we'll use an is set, because I think that would be better off, because then you can come back around and do it again. Session, and we're just going to make sure this is set. I don't care much more other than I want it set. So if session name is set, which it should be, I'm not going to repeat this process. Now, there's two ways. Say if you just want to remove a single session, not the whole session, because you have like maybe 10 or maybe 15. That's kind of a lot, but depending on what you're doing, it might be needed. Now, since we know that we need to remove one of our sessions, I want to remove my last name from my session, my name and my last name. So you can actually go unset right here. Go session. Okay, define name. And then we want last undone. You don't have to do anything special other than set it in the bracket. What that'll do is unset that session. So if I go right here, refresh, it's still there right at the moment. Main reason that is because I echoed it all out before I unset it. Now if I refresh again, boom, it's gone, but I added B. Main reason is re-added, and it's down at the bottom. Why is it down at the bottom? Because it was already set. I didn't have to set it again. So it automatically forces the first and full up. Now the thing is that I didn't do exclamation. I said, if it is set, do this again. That was stupid on my end. So if I go refresh again, there we go. So I didn't reset it. So what I just did is unset that session. Now, what happens if I don't want a session at all? Okay? Now, unset is nice for unsetting one or two things that you need to get removed. Now, if you want to set it all, you can do unset session. That's one way. That would be this. And session. As you can tell, I quoted it out just to kind of show you. I just basically I said the 2 comment marks in front just to kind of highlight it away so it doesn't run. Now, if I go unset session, okay, nothing was done. Refresh again, nothing was done. Unset won't work. Like I said, it only works for singles. I just wanted to show you that. Now, if you want to remove your whole session, you can go session, destroy, do. There we go. So if I go refresh again, boom, session's been destroyed. Now my browser input still has a session. That's just its correspondence of knowing what it hit on that server. Now I don't need to modify that at all. I don't need to remove it or anything. It's not needed, not worried about. But that's how you set sessions. Cookies follow the same concept. I'll just go down here and we're going to set a cookie. So we're going to go set cookie. Now cookie requires a little bit more because it's going to be stored on the user's end. We have to define the name, we have to define the value, and define how long it lasts. This allows you to customize it a little bit better. And when you define how long it lasts, you actually do a timestamp plus add on to its length. And I'll show you that. Set cookie. What do we want to set? So it's our name. So we're going to go name. Because I just wanted to have my name. Now, from there, we need to set a value. My value is going to be Garrett B. I'm just going to go Garrett B here. Comma again. Now it says expire. Now, there's other ones on here which say domain, secure, and HTTP only. Domain allows you to specify that cookie to work for a certain domain. So in case you have subdomains, you can use it from there. You might do a little bit more than that. Path you don't really have to worry about in this case. But I would like to just kind of show you expire. So if I go time, and we go plus 60. Remember, I haven't explained this at all, but time is actually is a timestamp on Unix machine. So what will happen is you have 60. That's 60 seconds. That means it expires within a minute. So 60 times 60 would equal an hour. 60 times 1 would equal a minute still. So what I'm doing is adding my time and adding a minute on top. And actually, I can make that 30 seconds. So I close that out. And I want to go down here. We're going to go browser input. And we're going to go down here. And we're going to go cookie details. Because I'd like to output out my cookies. Cookies. I think that's about right. Alright, so if I go refresh, boom. Now this is where that header comes into issue. This is where the cookie has the issue because I already outputted stuff. Now if I refresh this, boom, still hasn't output it. The reason why is my cookie is actually being defined after I already outputted. This is the main issue that a lot of people that try to do cookies run into. So I'm going to go up here and define my cookie. And refresh. Alright, so as you can see, I have my browser input, which has the name of Garrett. And the cookie is not displaying anything other than my name is Garrett. So what happens is the browser is storing this data. So my browser input is saying the same thing as a cookie would come out. So if I did request, I can request name. But I'm wanting to get it as a cookie, so I want to verify that it's a cookie. So that's how I pull out my cookie details. Now, I've set it for 30 seconds. So if I go right here and set, as you can tell, I don't see the session time. I don't know how long it's going to be still in the browser unless I go and reset the cookie again and add time to it. So if I refresh it here again, and like I said, I set it to 30 seconds. It takes a little while. What you can do is if I really want to turn it down is set it to 5. Go refresh. Boom. Okay, its cookie's gone because it's been over 30 seconds. So if I refresh again, cookie's back. And since I refreshed it, cookie's back. Wait 5 seconds here. I think it's been 5 seconds, about there. And then if I click refresh, boom, it's done. Still be there. It takes a little while for the session to kick in. Let's just give it. I did mark that out, right? Okay. There we go. So now it got removed. So as you can see, how cookie is a little bit different from session. They both work the same way. If you want to unset a cookie, you can use the unset command that I use there. Like I said, they're all stored in the browser. So when the server sets this up, you can send it to them and tell them how long they want it to last. You can actually reset that cookie and add more cookies than just one. I just wanted to show you the concept of sessions and cookies in this case. If you have any questions about this, please leave a comment down below. I hope I hit everything major for you guys. If there's anything else, like I said, just comment, like, subscribe, send me a message. I'll enjoy any feedback that you guys have for this. So hopefully you have a good one, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thank you. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a comment or like below. If you want to keep up with all activities on the channel, click subscribe. And if you would like to watch another video, there's some videos listed down below here. And thanks for watching.